issues together. As you know, he's as much a fanatic about protecting the environment as I am, and we are together producing with Jerry Weintraub a supposed series for Showtime that will be shown on television worldwide about the importance of protecting the environment. So we're working on many different levels, and we give speeches around the world about the environment and so on. But you know, he is a very talented guy, but I think he's going to be occupied with his next two projects over the next few years. I love country western music, American country western music.
Пожалуйста.
Well, it was very difficult for me to play an older guy because I feel so young. And but I mean, the character was such that he was about to retire, and therefore he is a somewhat vulnerable character because he's not anymore like he used to be when he was on an LA SWAT team, where he was one of the toughest guys. So age is caught up with his character. He's about to retire, and now all of a sudden you have those very dangerous drug cartel, members of a drug cartel. They're mercenaries, they're very well trained with heavy weapons. They're descending on our little town, which is a town that maybe has a population of 4,000. And this sheriff and his deputies are not at all equipped to take on such an enemy. And so it becomes kind of the story about the underdog, about someone that is not expected to win, and then in the end he has to succeed in order to save his town. So that's basically what it is. It's an underdog type of a story or type of a movie. And with some funny incidences, which of course, again, Johnny Noksvil is responsible for.
Hello. I just want to say that his character may be older, playing older, but on the set and with all the stunts and just leading everyone, he went twice as hard as myself or anyone else. I can't keep up with him. He's in incredible shape. Me? Yeah.
No, I did not have the discussion with the president, but as you know that our tax structure in the United States is different than in France. You know, I always enjoy coming to Russia, and I think that he knows that, and Medvedev also knows that. And I think the people of Russia know how much I love Russia and coming to Russia. It doesn't matter to me if I come here to promote a sport. I will be back here for the Olympics, for the Winter Olympics. I think Russia in Sochi is going to do an extraordinary job. I think the world is going to be blown away by the great kind of what great hosts there will be, and what great events they're going to have there, and how well we built there at Sochi. And I love coming back to promote my movies, or to be in a trade mission as governor, or to come as a politician. Makes no difference to me. I just love coming here. It's such a beautiful town, Moscow. It's such a huge and historic place in Russia itself. I mean, it's an extraordinary place, and the Russian people are very hardworking people, and so I appreciate them. I appreciate the different culture. I appreciate the differences between the thinking of the Russians versus the thinking of the Americans or the thinking of the Austrians and all of those things. So I'm today very happy to be here again. Riding a bicycle. You know that it's easy to get back on a bike after 10 years. But at the same time, one does have concerns. You know, does the audience, do the fans still accept you? And like I said, that to me, this was the first starring role again. And it was a wonderful movie to work on, and we had, as Johnny said, a very talented director. Kim Ji-hoon, who is from South Korea, is the king of action movies in Asia. And he was a great addition. And to have him there, even though his English ability was limited, but he had two translators there, and we had no problem understanding him or communicating with him. I think he did an extraordinary job with the whole thing. So it is strange in a way, and you know, to go back. But then again, I felt like I was welcome back with open arms. So I'm very happy to be back again. I think the last time I saw with popcorn and with my family, it must have been maybe 3-4 years ago. Because I have a screening room at home in my house, and so most of the movies we watch at home, and I have my children there, and I have my children's friends come over, so we usually have around 15 or 20 people in the theater and watch movies that way.
Ребят, пожалуйста, задавайте вопросы про фильм, про конкретные, которые...
Kindergarten cop. The character that I played, the kindergarten cop, I played a cop and also a kindergarten teacher. I think that character came the closest to who I am. I would say the second one is maybe, well, the second one probably is the character in Predator. When they go into the jungle and then all of a sudden they discover this monster, the Predator. You know, that character that I played there is also very similar to, and that's kind of the way I would have reacted, and that's the kind of things I would have done if I would have been under the circumstances. I wish sometimes I could be the Terminator, but I'm not. Because if I would be the Terminator, the great advantage would be that I would not have to sleep because I'm a machine. Because I hate the idea of sleeping because we waste so much time, you know, with sleeping. But I mean, we would be so much further ahead if we could just learn something during the time when we sleep, or have another job or something like that. I think that would be cool. But it's not reality. It's just, you know, an idea. So, but I enjoy playing the character of Terminator because he's a machine. He's indestructible.
Пожалуйста.
So, first of all, let me just say that the reason why those parts are fun for me to play is because my father was a police officer. So he was in law enforcement. That's why when you look at my history of movies, you will see that I've played many different types of law enforcement personnel. I played FBI agents, I played secret agents, I played sheriffs, I played police officers, I played undercover agents, I played police chiefs, fire chiefs, I mean, all of those things, because I think my father always wanted me to be a police officer, and my dream was not to be stuck in Austria and be a police officer. I wanted to go to Hollywood, and I wanted to become a leading man in movies, and I wanted to make a lot of money. And I wanted to become somebody bigger than just being a police officer. And but because of that, I played many times a police officer. And yes, you can come out here and shake my hand.
Я хотел задать вопрос. Да, сейчас рукопожатие. Я хотел задать вопрос Джонни Ноксвилу. Джонни, хотел узнать, как такой крутой...
How did me as an action hero or comedian? Well, I was in awe most of the time. As I said, I was very intimidated to work with Arnold, but he was very sweet. And the moment when I'm in the bus, we're shooting it out with bad guys, and I'm feeding the bullets into the machine gun. That wasn't me acting, that was just me, Johnny Knoxville, smiling because I'm doing a shootout with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was not in character at all. So it was a great honor for me to work with Arnold.
Thank you.
Пожалуйста.
Well, first of all, let me just say that when Danny was here and he mentioned Twins, the sequel, he's absolutely correct, because Universal Studios is right now having written the sequel to Twins, which will be called Triplets. And Eddie Murphy is going to be the other character, the third character in that mix. So you figure it out with the same sperm to have this kind of mixture of different people. But I think that's why it is a comedy. It's a funny concept. They're going to come up with a good premise and a good story. And hopefully by the end of this year we will shoot that film. Another film that they're writing right now, which is also for Universal Studios, which is Conan the Barbarian. They're writing another Conan script. The new leadership of Universal Studios is a big believer in those sequels, and you know, they want me to do those films, so I'm looking forward to doing those films.
Два последних вопроса, один слева, один справа, пожалуйста.
On the set was really open and fun because he walks on the set and he's having a ball, and when the number one on the call sheet walks on the set with that attitude, it just makes it fun for everyone. And I didn't prank of course I didn't prank Arnold Schwarzenegger because he bench presses 700 pounds and he would break me in two. I have a lot of respect for him, so I don't prank him. But it was a really fun movie to make, yeah.
Пожалуйста, последний вопрос.
Very good question. When I was 18 years old and I was in the Austrian army, I became a tank driver, which was always my big dream. And so my dream became a reality. And I was for 1 year in the army, and for 1 year I drove tanks. I had the greatest time learning all how to drive all the big vehicles, trucks, and 16-wheelers, 18-wheelers, and all of those things until you get to become a tank driver and learn how to drive tanks. I made many maneuvers with the tank and everything, so I got somewhat attached to my tank. So now I go to America. I go through my bodybuilding career, and I go through my acting career. And now it's 1990, and we are now getting involved with Planet Hollywood, with a restaurant chain. And we thought it would be cool to have in front of the restaurant my tank from the Austrian army. So it was a long process, very difficult process to get that tank. First of all, to find the tank, because by now the tank was an old tank and it was not used anymore in Austria. But the Austrian military, with the permission of the Americans, then sent the tank, found the tank exactly with the number 331 on it and sent it to America. And I had to pay for the shipping, but the rest of it was a gift from the Austrian army. And then I had it refurbished in America because it was an American tank. It was in 1955 when it was the treaty and Austria became independent. America gave various different countries all over Europe American tanks. This particular one was called the M47. It's the patent tank. It's from the 50s. And so we sent that tank over to America. We refurbished it, put new engines in it, put new tracks on it, and repainted it. And it looks like brand new, and it's being used all the time in movies, or it's used mostly also by me, driving children around and having visitors come out. I just recently had a press conference out there, and I drove all the press around with the tank, and we had a wonderful time. So it's not really considered a weapon per se as a fun vehicle. As a matter of fact, the cannon doesn't even shoot, because you're not allowed to shoot the cannon, you know. Driving around Los Angeles shooting a cannon would be, I think, somewhat against the law. But I mean, it's a fun vehicle to drive around with. So thank you for the question.
Ну что же,